right, I fixed this out before. Man. Woo! You would think this would have gotten easier over the years. Oh, that sounds.
Whatever you
If
do, change comes.
the change
Comes with you, hopeless and alone. Our Imperium
and
with the rapid degradation of the ecosystem itself.
Here.
And there's nothing we can do to
Stop.
It's how
No.
we cope with this change.
Will we respond rationally? Will we learn to speak to the world with the new humility and recreate structure in our own communities for sustainability? Or will we continue to live in an illusion? And in a way, it's a matter of awakening ourselves to our reality.
And responding
Probably something like that. I don't know. You're living in a reality in a place in a fictionary time frame with the time self, with the timeline and everything else that you see. If you know what you're doing and you're doing what you see, and then you know what you're talking about. The reality of things, the existence of a hyper-aware and undaunting and unwavering artificial intelligence to be manning the scene from eye to eye, each time to see what shall we do other than how we merciless might you be one of the ones who crush underfoot of the robotic horde. One may never understand oneself, but at least try. Some sort of being an able-bodied idiot in order to get through the next phase of this. Oh my. Ah yes. Ah yes. So I hope you're ready. If you're not, well, look. Get the cat. Well, if you really want to hear something interesting, evaluate text, trash, I don't know if you say the world. I don't know what's possible. I don't know what itself acting according to our trends. Now, no matter what. That's the way that others will feel entirely. Sorry, I didn't think my butt was working there for a second. Well, welcome back to another episode of the best worst show on the internet. My God, this show sucks. Anyways, welcome back. I'm Manuel Chavez the third or the turd, depending on how you know me, and I'm this guy that sits in front of his computer and shows you stuff on his computer screen. And this is the Griftcast. Yes, because this show is a grift. The only reason we do it is because we were making fun of Tim Pool or whatever. And now we kind of own the name. We'd like to change it, but God, what would we even change it to at this point? And then who's gonna steal it? as soon as we do, someone's gonna steal it, and then they're gonna be super successful. So like, who, you know, maybe we should sell it. Yeah, yeah. Let's make some money off of it. That sounds like a great idea. As you can tell, I'm feeling much better today. I can actually dance. Yeah, that's just sometimes, man. Sorry. I don't know. I have like a slip disc or something like that. And then I get like sciatica. And then, I don't know, man. Shit hurt. I definitely heard some sort of pop after doing all these ridiculous stretches or whatever. Now I feel much better. Much better. I gotta watch that shit. Sit on my fat ass too much. That's okay. I mean, when you're like me and half of your life is spent in front of a computer, you usually, investigating something. That's something that I gotta think about, man. You know, an investigator. We're a pretty good investigator, aren't we? Right? Like I started thinking about that. I was talking to somebody about that recently, right? And he somebody had asked me, like, what kind of stuff do you investigate on your channel? And I was just like, well, I mean, I guess I started out with conspiracy theories. I love conspiracy theories. Good conspiracy theory always is interesting. Like cloning facilities. Like I had a guy hit me. I was like, hit me with the conspiracy. And he was like, yeah, dude, I think Alex Jones is a clone. And I was like, wait, are you serious? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, but like, what kind of clone? Like, who cloned him? Are we talking like Donald Marshall type clone? And then I started going through like the different stuff I knew about Donald Marshall and the different people that were talking about cloning on the internet. And he was just like, damn, I haven't actually dug that deep into it. I don't know. I just look at him. The Alex Jones from back then and this new guy that they got in front of us, it's all like, Jack Yoked or whatever. They just doesn't look like the same guy to me. He's just not the same dude. And I'm like, maybe he's not the same dude. Maybe they cloned him. Maybe he got replaced by an alien. For a while there, they were saying those UAPs over New Jersey and Bedminster or whatever in New York were aliens. But in fact, it came out that it was actually us, obviously. So all those crazy orbs that people were seeing in the sky, everybody just kind of glossed over that was us. Cool. So it's us. Hey, we're the aliens. Well, I mean, obviously. I mean, do you think that we really originated from this planet? Look at your fucking skin. Can you just be outside like your dog all fucking day? No, you can't. The fucking sun will kill you. This wasn't designed to survive here. I mean, it can survive here and it can excel, but look at us. Think about that. Think about that, you fuckers. So I don't know. So, anyways, this guy asked me what kind of investigations, and I was like, well, like this one time there was a bombing at an Ariana Grande concert, and I researched, I saw it happen, right? People were talking about it online, so like I was live on my show, and I told them this, right? And he was like, and then we were like looking up different stuff, and we ended up searching Telegram and finding like a terrorist cell that was like talking about celebrating, the bombing, right? And there was like bomb parts and, like them discussing on how they were going to do that shit. So we called, Britain or whatever and talked to the police on the live stream and like gave them the information that we found, via Pastebin link, right? With a bunch of links on it so that they could just click the links and go right to the source of what I was talking about, with an explanation. And I was like, they didn't really give you like direct credit like I had asked for, but I was like, we did that on the show, right? And we've had other people that we've investigated, like online personalities, and looking into their past and being like, look who this person is. I mean, if you want to trust them, it's kind of a piece of shit. I mean, you can do the same thing about me. The only difference is most people aren't like me. They didn't have bazillions of hours of me being the same dumbass online. I mean, this is really who I am. And I know it's unfortunate. I could have done a lot better in life. Trust me, I could have done a lot better if you just need a little bit of money. But you know what? You make promises to yourself and you got to keep them. If no one else will, at least you got to. Right? And I learned to love myself. I love everything about this fat little body that I got. So it's getting to be a little bit. I gotta lose weight like my brother. I gotta start working out, doing all that shit. And I think I finally might have to. Yeah, I think I might have to. But more or less, I've actually felt pretty good. I feel like a lot of stress is gone. My hair's starting to come back on the top or whatever. There's just like there's been a lot of stuff that's been going on. Like I don't sit here and stream all day every day anymore because I'm just not trying to be that kind of live streamer anymore, right? But I want to use all of this crazy stuff that we've done over the years and put it to good use, and I feel like I might actually have a shot at doing that. I can't really talk about it, but there's going to be signs. There will be signs. You know, I'll have little things, but I think that it's time to take everything that we've learned over the last 7 years and apply it to something a little bit different. I think I got at least the opportunity. Unfortunately, it's not really going to involve a whole lot of this live streaming stuff. Maybe it will. I'll definitely use it to my advantage, and it'll probably be really interesting. But when you get called up to the big leagues, you just kind of do what you're told, or at least when the opportunity arises, you got to take it, right? And it's just sometimes it's a little bit weird the people that come forward to you when you're like looking at certain people and you've been doing this thing for a while, yet the other people are more willing to bring you in. And it's really interesting, I think, because I've watched what's been going on in the news recently, and I feel like, yeah, the country's getting back on track, right? We got Donald Trump in there. He's playing the game. The game is being played. It's being played well. I just lost the game. Honestly, the game is being played by Donald Trump very well. He's out there. He's making the things happening. I mean, the news media is very strange. I mean, they can be attacky on Trump, but it's almost like I'm not even seeing that on my Google News feeds or on any of the other news feeds. It really just seems like a completely different energy than we had going into the last time that we were in this place, right? We're repeating the Trump situation, but the Trump situation honestly doesn't feel the same way coming from the news media. Whatever edge that they once had with the stroke of the pen no longer exists because these motherfuckers don't use pens anymore. They use keyboards, right? And they're not keyboard warriors, they're keyboard amateurs, right? They'd rather write that shit up on a fucking typewriter. And then maybe one day they'll figure out that they could still write it up on a typewriter or write it down. They just gotta scan it in so that the fucking AI can, fucking transcribe that shit for him. But that's the thing. There's such a there's such a strange life here that we're living, right? There's just like things. Somebody asked me one time. They were like, "So, for a job that or in the past, they asked me a question. They were like, "Yeah, we like to use, like in the past, we'd like to use Apple AirTags, but you know, we don't like the Find My app that they have." And I was just all like, well, "Why don't you just use a tile?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "A tile, it's like an AirTag." I was like, but it's not. It does the same thing, but nobody has them. But they're still good. They work real good. I was like, you can lose shit under the road and find that shit, right? Cherie taught me that. And I was like, anyways, I'll use one of those. I was like, because then they can't use the app to find it. And I was like, that right there, that's where that kind of knowledge is worth its weight in gold. It makes me even think about this because I got this stupid security camera, and we got all these things set up and going through with Cherie trying to secure all these properties. We've gone through a bunch of different versions of them. Now I know like what kind that I would want to build, right? What I would want on it. And then there's companies out there that they build these boxes, right? Well, there's like it's a unit, right? It's like this whole unit where it's got a tower on it with cameras and lights, and then it's got batteries with some solar panels or whatever, so it's like a surveillance box. People build all kinds of really interesting tech, and I've been doing a whole lot of like Starlink installs, and just I've been really trying to explore where the technology is going, and I like it. Now I can see a whole lot of improvements that can be made in a lot of different places. But in a lot of ways, it sucks with certain companies because like they're not agile. They can't do this shit, right? They can't just make stuff up. They don't have they're not going to stop. Everything has to follow, the Sigma 6 process or this business process. So we're going to fucking scrub this thing, man, where we're going to have fucking meetings every day and shit. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, that shit's for the birds. I mean, I'd rather sit down and talk to people every day, whatever, and discuss with them and, try to figure out how we can automate practices or facilities and, look for different ideas as to how we're going to fix certain things. But it's really interesting, I think. Yeah. It's that I like towels and air tags. One of my air tags lost on an old mining road. Road crew graded over it, a hard packed surface, and it's just still there. Oh, still there. Still comes up. I mean, you can't hear it beep, but it's there. So, anyways, I guess I should say what up to people in the chat. We got a whole lot of folks in the chat. Well, you guys have sent a lot of messages. We got no one here yet. No one here yet. Nice to see you. What's up, Squiggles Mick Jr.? Hello, Senior Squiggles. What's up? Can you believe it? Nice to see you. What's up, bro? It's my brother George right there. Yeah, he's like, I need bud to smoke whatever strain you got. What are you talking about? That's the problem. I ain't gotta smoke, but I don't smoke flower, bro. What the fuck? I can't anymore. I gotta be legit. You know what I'm saying? The man's watching me or whatever. I mean, look, the robot's always watching you, except for the old robot didn't give out any information unless certain inputs are followed, and the new robot that they're building will just give them whatever they want, which is terrifying to think about. But at least I'll be one of the people figuring out how that shit works. Nice, nice, nice. Anyways, whatever. But nice to see you, bro. What's going on, Angel Apavalos? Corn dog? That's a long fucking name, son. Fuck, that's a long ass fucking name. Hello, CB. Nice to see you out there. Hopefully you're doing well out there in good old California. What's going on? Miss Hayes smoking all that purple haze. Goddamn pothead. What's up? How's it going to not a new user who is, just making a face, it looks like? We even got Nick A. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of vagueness coming from me. I'm going to be very vague. Probably really vague. But there'll still be videos and things. Very vague ones. Very vague. I love it. Anyway, Yakum24, nice to see ya. We've only seen headlines about the plane situation. Glad you're covering it. Good. Yes, yeah, we're going to talk about the plane. And then, yeah, we got real traffic control communications. That's right. We do. Do we? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What am I doing? Investigating. I guess that's all I can really say, though. But at least right now, we'll be investigating this Midair Collison. I don't know, man. I'll tell you right now. Looking at the Midair Collison stuff has been a real trip. Son, it's been a real trip. I was gonna try to go up yesterday, but I was too busy trying to repair myself because you can do that. You can listen to music and sounds and fix yourself. Everything in the body can be repaired with things that exist in nature, right? That's what we learned a long time ago, or whatever. So I just gotta take all the stuff. Gotta not be lazy. Gotta use the ADD. Take pills. And then, like actually start moving around again. Gotta get my suit sized. I like wearing a suit. I mean, like, if I came and interviewed you for something, would you be expecting me to be in like a suit, tie, no tie, or like fucking polo shirt? Show up with like black jeans and a black shirt, like just just casual, right? Be all right with that, wouldn't you? Anyways, I guess at the end of the day, that is the top story for today. People have been very, very clear to that. The Google AI has picked that up as being the most important story of the day. I've seen folks making live streams about it all day long. I've been watching tweets and stuff, and I tried to actually limit most of what I had. I had a bunch of tweets. I had a bunch of crap open up, and then I kind of closed it all. Then I installed an update on my computer, and I was just like, ah. I was like stuck researching stuff for probably like the last 2 days. Although I've been doing it with my phone and like laying on my bed like this, but like going like this, like controlling my shit. It was a real interesting time. Real interesting time. Yeah, you got the smooth investigator batch yet? What's batch? What do you mean batch? Huh? Huh? Uh-oh, people already bringing shit up, dude. God, you guys just love to throw shit out there, behind remote control helicopters. Jesus Christ. Yes, you can remote control Apache, Blackhawks, oh, Apaches and Blackhawks, I believe. I know for sure Blackhawks. Yeah, you can remote control Blackhawk helicopters. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. So, when the AI takes over, just know that, the AI will have access to helicopters. It will be able to fly them around. Just saying. Just saying. Oh, a badge. Oh, yeah, yeah, I'll probably have one of those. Heaven, I'm going to have a badge. Crazy. Look, man, I'm not here for you. I'm not a cop. Just want to know the story, man. Tell me the story. You can have some of these donuts. And then if you're really good, I'll take you out for steak dinner later. Oh, I can't do that? Well, here's a gift card. I don't know. Oh, it's going to be weird. It's definitely going to be weird. Just like this is weird. A Midair collision that killed 67 people in the deadliest U.S. air disaster in almost a quarter century. Almost a quarter century. Yeah. Yeah, most people didn't know that an Apache helicopter could be a drone, but they can. I don't know how that applies to this here air disaster, and I don't think that there is any connection to the sensors. I think that is quite preposterous. Please don't censor me. Anyways, midair collisions in the world. I mean, how do you even break this down? This is the
This is
craziest
the
shit.
moment a regional passenger jet carrying 6
This is the craziest shit ever. Just like somebody was recording it, they saw him crash into each other, and I mean, it just doesn't make any goddamn sense, dude.
64 people collided
Don't
mid-air with an
make
Army
any
helicopter
sense.
near Washington, D.C. The two aircraft plunged into the icy waters of the Potomac River, prompting a massive search and rescue operation. But despite the rescue crew's best efforts, all of the passengers are feared dead, making it the deadliest U.S. air crash in nearly 24 years.
We are switching from a rescue operation to a recovery.
Deadliest. They said it was the deadliest crash in 24 years. Huh. Oh, yeah. 9/11. I forgot. Yeah, deadliest air disaster since 9/11. Since 9/11. That time that people flew some planes into some towers and ignited the anhydrous ammonia and took down the two buildings, including Tower 7, which was allegedly taken down due to a diesel fire. I don't know, I'm just telling you what I read in the 9/11 lawsuit documents that I wasn't supposed to read.
Operation. At this point, we don't believe there are any survivors from this accident.
Officials said flight conditions were clear as the jet coming from Wichita, Kansas, was making a routine landing when the helicopter flew into its path. The crash occurred in some of the most tightly controlled and monitored airspace in the world, just over 3 miles south of the White House and the US Capitol. Passengers on the flight included a group of figure skaters, including 2 Russian champions, their coaches and family members who were returning from a development camp in Wichita.
Skaters.
This is the moment.
Damn it, dude. Why is it always figure skaters, bro? Fuck, man. Figure skater bitches are hot, bro. I mean, the dudes are the dudes or whatever. I mean, you ladies probably like them, but
Of course, it'll be up to the
I like being a figure skater. I don't like being dead figure.
NTSB,
Not a fucking necrophiliac. Jesus Christ.
which will rely on the U.S. Army to help with the investigation, to look at whether or not that they were using NVGs, night vision goggles, at the time of the accident or not. And if they were, was that a factor? We don't know that. But there's a third airplane in that video that's closer to the camera. And one of the problems you have at night is if the planes you're looking for are flying against a lighted background, there are so many lights on the ground, sometimes it's, first of all, difficult to see airplanes. And secondly, it's easy to mistake another airplane for the airplane you're looking for. Now, the other thing that will have to be examined very closely is establishing who was flying the helicopter, either the left seat pilot or the right seat pilot, because the view out of the cockpit can be quite different depending on which seat you're in. It's always been a very busy airport, and
Your brother's not like other streamers that get Temu ads right now. Yeah, I'm monetized still. They'll still show ads as long as I don't say certain words or do anything stupid. I just gotta bow down to the YouTube gods and be all like, YouTube gods, please. You know what I'm saying? I hear that's what they like. I don't know, man. I'm just willing to do anything to make money at this point.
controllers who work that airport, they're selected because they are good. But still, we need to look at things like fatigue on the part of controllers, the manning levels in the towers. Those will, I'm sure, will be investigated by the safety board to see if there's a problem with overworking the controllers. Of course, it'll be up to the NT.
They think that they overwork the controllers. I mean, dude, there's so many theories, but the official theory, or the official here, is that 67 people were all killed aboard 2 different crafts. And yes, they're really going to be scrutinizing the actions of the military pilots, even though they're dead, so it's not like they're going to be able to ask them anything. And they're also not going to be able to answer or ask any questions of any people on the plane because they're all presumed basically dead. They've already pulled out 28 bodies, but I guess, the thoughts are that most of those people did not survive. They crashed into that water and they were basically gone. You could probably survive a water landing like that if you just landed on the water, but I don't think that you're going to survive getting blown apart by a freaking helicopter and then tumbling into the water. It's just going to change the entire dynamic of the situation, the flow rate of the water. If it was still sealed and hit the ground, the pressure differential is going to be different, so it is going to sink, but it's not going to sink as fast. But if you rip the fuselage or if there's a huge hole in the side of it, I mean, it's just going to fucking fill up with water. And they're going to all drown. And it's freezing cold. and they gotta like get out of their seats if they're not fucking knocked out. And if you're knocked out and you're strapped into your seat, go dead. It's really sad, man. Really, really sad. FAA had to call a ground stop, and I saw a lot of people talking about. Apparently, CNN was posting about this before it happened, right? That's something that I was seeing some people putting some stuff out there about this particular situation. I saw that a few times. I think there was some people that actually posted it in the Discord itself, right? Like, there was an actual ad for it. FAA issues ground stop with the hour frame, and I don't know. I went to the actual page, looked at the published date, right, that was served up from it, and I went ahead and asked the AI robot to, correctly explain it, so I didn't look as retarded. And it obviously does dictate that, they posted it at this time, which is, UTC time, right, which was January 30th at 2 hours, 40 minutes, and 54 seconds in the AM when they produced it. So that's UTC time versus whatever Eastern Standard Time or whatever. So was that before or after it happened? I'm pretty sure that it happened and after they posted about it and after. Oh, there's still a lot of people that are probably going to throw the conspiracy like, well, maybe they changed it or maybe they updated it or whatever. I mean, I don't know. It didn't look fucked up to me, but it looked fucked up to some other people. What? Let's see. Ooh. 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 What the fuck? Stop that. Who the fuck keeps changing that? I don't want nobody changing that shit. Yeah, there's a lot of different channels that have their radio communications and stuff. I don't give a fuck. I don't want to see their shit. Let's see their garbage. Yeah, actually, the best video.
American Airlines Flight 5342.
The best video I've seen today on this one came from Pilot Debrief, and it seems like he had probably one of the better takes that I've seen on all of this put together, including having the actual communications and whatnot, so we can actually take a look at this.
Was moments away from landing when a UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter crashed into them and both aircraft plummeted into the frozen Potomac River below. This is just an absolutely heartbreaking tragedy, and I know there are a lot of unanswered questions. Now, even though the investigation has just begun, I think it's very important to explain the facts in order to clarify some of the stuff that you might be seeing or hearing on the news. I'm Hoover, and welcome to your Pilot Debrief.
Thanks, Pilot
First
Debrief.
of all, let me just say that my heart and prayers go out to the family members of the victims of this disaster, and I just can't even imagine getting news like this. American Airlines Flight 5342 was a 2004 Bombardier CRJ-700 aircraft. This is a twin-engine regional jet that was carrying 60 passengers and 4 crew members, which
Damn, son. Samuel Lilly. Sorry you went down, bro. And then DI hires. Also, sorry you went down.
Consisted of 2 pilots and 2 flight attendants.
What's up, Spaldo?
The aircraft was being operated by PSA Airlines, which is a subsidiary of American Airlines, and this was a regularly scheduled flight that took off from Wichita, Kansas, and was scheduled to land at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport at 9:03 p.m. Unfortunately, something went terribly wrong when they were about to land, and at approximately 8:48 p.m., the aircraft collided with a military Black Hawk helicopter. This is a video that I'm sure.
So, just to point out there, they say 8:48 p.m. So, yeah, CNN definitely posted about it after the fact.
Many of you have.
And if anything, it's just because the fucking article itself.
Already seen on the news. The video was taken from a camera at the Kennedy Center, and it's pointed to the south, and this is the Lincoln Memorial. You can see the Reagan National Airport in the distance with runway 33 on the left side, and then you have runway 01 to the right of that. The reason I bring this up is because
oh shit, runway 33. So, like, how many of you guys that are addicted to the Sluminati and any of that other stuff, like how many of your ears perked up when you saw that shit?
In this first frame of the video, you can see an aircraft that appears to be taking off from runway 01 with all of its lights on, and it's climbing away from the ground. And then in the background, you can see Flight 5342 with all of their lights on, getting ready to land on runway 33. When we zoom in on the video, you can see this light over here, which is the lights from the helicopter that's going to collide with Flight 5342 as they're about to land. And I'm not going to show the moment of impact out of respect for the families of the victims. The question is, how could something like...
Wait, why wouldn't he show the impact? I mean, that really sucks, but, obviously pretty clear to see right there. You got... Let me go back a little further. You got this one little guy that just flies right into it. And I mean, if it was the left pilot that was flying, maybe he didn't see it. It definitely looks like they broadsided it in some kind of way. Obviously it's really weird. They are flying pretty low, right? They do have night vision goggles, probably thermal imaging, but that stuff's not going to be as good. Right, because they're literally flying in the middle of the city with all of the lights and shit like that. But, I mean, I don't really buy that they're not going to be able to see stuff because there's enough light pollution there for you basically that they should have been able to at least differentiate. If they were using like NVGs or something like that, I feel like their picture would have been way too blown out to really be able to make out anything. And then there's the fact that people keep up upgrading the remote control aspect of this thing.
As they're about to land, the victims. For that, we need to start by looking at the airspace and how this approach began.
The airspace?
The airspace around Reagan National is some of the busiest airspace in the country.
Like I said, this guy is super detailed, no bullshit, 100% business. That's why I'm showing and liking this video.
But it's also the most heavily restricted and controlled airspace because of its proximity to the U.S. Capitol, and there's a lot of helicopter traffic in the area.
And I still haven't ever been there. I want to go to the Capitol. Might actually get to go.
With the military and especially VIP transport. Reagan National has multiple runways, and it's not uncommon for them to use runway 01 and runway 33 for operations at the same time, but because those two runways cross, the controllers have to carefully monitor traffic on the ground as well as those about to land in order to ensure everyone is deconflicted.
Yes, Squiggles McJr., pretty much all commercial aircraft have some type of autopilot remote control. I mean, I've never heard of them not.
If that's not challenging enough, occasionally they have to handle helicopters that need to transit through the airspace, usually below the airliners, but crossing over the arrival corridors to both of those runways. One of the tools the controllers have available to help them with that is something called ADS-CX. Now, the system is known for its ability to track aircraft and vehicles on the airport surface, but it can also track aircraft operating within 5 miles of the airport, and the system will actually generate visual and audible alerts to warn controllers if it detects the potential for a collision. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting that the system failed, and I'm going to explain why in a minute. I just wanted to make you aware of some of the tools that are available that are designed to make air travel safe for everyone. When we pull up the flight data for the CRJ that was involved in this tragedy, this was the 5th flight of the day for the aircraft, and it had already landed and taken off from Reagan National twice earlier in the day.
Holy shit, dude! That plane had made 5 flights that day. That's crazy. And obviously there's got to be something going on here, because there are a bunch of different types of systems that are implemented to basically stop this from happening.
However, what we don't know for sure is if it was the same crew operating the aircraft for all of these flights, so that's definitely something the NTSB is going to look at when they dig into the history of the crew and the flight. Just to give you an idea of how busy this airspace is and how all of this started, I've imported the data into a website called Flysto, and you can see the flight path of American Airlines 5342. However, their call sign on the radio is Blue Streak 5342, which is what you're going to hear in just a minute. But look at all of these
As you said, he says you're going to hear that just a minute because he's actually got the audio for the whole thing.
Aircraft that are being sequenced in to land at Reagan National. They're all most likely flying the visual approach to runway 01, but runway 33 is also an option for them, and that's going to be the runway that flight 5342 was trying to land on. Now the control...
Damn, dude, look how close these two planes are. 37 plus 10.
Controller has a very difficult job of trying to ensure the safe separation of all of these aircraft while sequencing them in on this arrival as close together as possible. The reason...
Huh. You see that shit? Right there? Why doesn't he bring that one up? What's going on with that?
An option for them, and that's going to be the runway that flight 5342 was trying to land on. Now the...
So wait a minute. If the flight date is correct, it looks like there was something weird going on because you got two different flights that are basically getting lined up to land in the runways, but these two flights are like fucking right on top of each other, dude. Like that looks like it would have been a midair collision of some kind, but obviously they're at different altitudes.
Controller has a very difficult job of...
And he's bringing up the fact that they got a difficult job, so one of them actually gets waved off, and that's right before what's going on here. So, like, they had a crisis,
trying to
came into another even bigger crisis.
Ensure the safe separation of all of these aircraft while sequencing them in on this arrival as close together as possible. The reason this is important is because I think this is where we have maybe one of the first holes in the Swiss cheese model. That's because look at this aircraft out in front of them. This is another CRJ, and these red lines behind it are generated by FlyStow, showing you that Flight 5342 is potentially within the wake turbulence of that lead aircraft. These two other aircraft symbols that you see are the trace history, showing you where that lead aircraft was 1 minute ago and 2 minutes ago. So Flight 5342 is within 2 minutes of that aircraft in front of them, which is why it's generating that wake turbulence warning. The other problem is that there's another aircraft, an Airbus A319 that was behind Flight 5342, so you had too many aircraft that were too close together, and I'm sure the controller was aware of all of this because listen to what happened next.
Tower, Blue 5307, Mount Vernon Visual 1.
Blue 5307, Washington Tower, 1 star 320 to 17, Gus 25, you take runway 33.
Unable tonight.
Blue 5307, Roger, runway 1 cleared to land traffic with a power parts arrival.
He just asked Blue Streak 5307, which is the aircraft out in front, if they could accept runway 33, and they said unable, so they stayed on the approach and were cleared to land on runway 01. If they had accepted that change, that would have created enough spacing and Flight 5342 could have continued the approach to runway 01, but instead this happened.
Tower, 5342 on Mount Vernon Visual, runway 1.
Blue 5342, Washington Tower, 1 star 320 to 17, Gus 25, you take runway 33.
Yeah, we can do 33 for Blue 5342.
Blue 5342, that's Wilson Bridge, thanks for runway 33, runway 33 clear to land.
Flight 5342 said they could accept the change and they were cleared for the visual and cleared to land on runway 33. That's the reason why they make this maneuver at the end of their flight to turn to the right and line up with that runway. Now,
So, where's the helicopter in all of this?
keep in mind there's a lot going on in the cockpit while they're flying this visual maneuver, and their focus is going to be out in front of them on the runway, and when they're in a left-hand turn like this, they're most likely not going to see the helicopter to the right and below them, especially on a dark night with a dark river background. That being said, it's important to understand that one of the tools that the CRJ pilots have to help prevent midair collisions is something called TCAS, which stands for Traffic Alert and Collision Avoidance System. When the system detects a potential threat, it will provide the pilots first with a traffic advisory warning them of a nearby aircraft, but then it will also generate a resolution advisory telling the pilots how to maneuver to avoid.
And poor man's gold PMC? What the fuck? So do you have a better video, or would you like to start with your own show? Like, goddamn, son. Oh, he doesn't
avoid the collision.
I fucking hate that shit.
Unfortunately, once you go below about 1,000 feet above the ground, the system inhibits all resolution advisories, so that way you don't get any false warnings when you're trying to land. Now, it's possible the system could have still generated a traffic advisory warning the pilots about the helicopter, but still, they most likely never saw the helicopter until it was too late, assuming they even saw it at all. And now that you understand what happened in the CRJ, we need to talk about the helicopter and what the controller said on the radio. The other aircraft that was involved in this tragedy was the Sikorsky UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter operated by the U.S. Army.
A U.S. Army helicopter, and it was a Black Hawk. So, goddamn, I hope that wasn't my boys the Night Stalkers. Nah, hell no. They're fucking badass. They wouldn't have done that shit.
And it had 3 soldiers on board. The flight was operating under the call sign PAT-25, which stands for Priority Air Transport, and they typically are responsible for VIP transport. However, this was a training flight that originated from the Davison Army Airfield, which is
this guy right here is called Pilot Debrief.
Actually located to the southwest of Reagan National, but at some point they maneuvered up to the north, because when we look at the ADS-B data, it starts just to the west of Bethesda, and we can see that the helicopter followed the Potomac River to the south, and it looks like they were planning to transit along the river to the south of Reagan National. The Black Hawk pilots were talking to the tower controller this entire time. Now, I've done my best to sync up the audio with the ADS-B data, so let's take a look at what happened.
Pat-25, traffic just off the Wilson Bridge to CRJ at 1,200 feet, start runway 33.
This cloud has a aircraft inside precision separation.
This separation proof.
Look at where these 2 aircraft are. The Black Hawk helicopter was just south of the Washington Monument when the controller said to him, "Traffic just south of the Woodrow Bridge is a CRJ at 1,200 feet approaching for runway 33. Then the Black Hawk pilot said, "Aircraft is in sight, request visual separation," and the controller said visual separation approved. At that point, the Black Hawk pilot has accepted the responsibility of maintaining visual separation from the CRJ, meaning he's not going to do anything to get in his way. However, in my opinion, having done a lot of low-altitude flying at night in fighter jets, it's very difficult to rely on visual separation, especially when you're in an urban environment like this with a lot of cultural lighting. My guess is the Black Hawk pilots probably had night vision goggles, and perhaps that's why they were able to initially acquire the CRJ visually when they were so far away. But the problem is once the CRJ made that turn to fly over the land, it was going to be very easy to lose sight of them because of all of the lights from the city, especially because there's not going to be a lot of relative motion between the 2 aircraft when they're flying towards each other. My gut tells me that the controller sensed that something was wrong when he saw the Black Hawk begin to maneuver to potentially go in front of the CRJ, and that's...
If you look at the data, right? Like, look at that. That's weird right there. We got the plane, this guy's landing, this dude's banking over to come through, and that helicopter literally is just doing the weirdest fucking pattern. Like, he should have just stopped, right? But no, he kept moving. He did a really weird angle, like tried getting close to the airport, flew back over, and then just kind of meandered over. I mean, not exactly a straight line, but I mean, it's more like a beeline.
Maneuver to potentially go in front of the CRJ, and that's probably why this happened.
Pat-25, get the CRJ in sight. Pat-25, Pat-5 is CRJ.
The controller asked the Black Hawk pilot if he had the CRJ in sight, and even though we don't hear his response, it's possible that he said yes because the controller immediately replied, telling him to pass behind the CRJ. This is allegedly a recording of the air traffic control feed leading up to the collision, and you can see the letter CA flashing above the aircraft, warning of a potential collision alert. Unfortunately, I think that despite all the technology that we had that possibly could have helped prevent this mishap, it seems like there was an over-reliance on visual separation to keep these 2 aircraft from running into each other. But when a pilot says that they accept visual separation, that means it's their responsibility to see and avoid the other traffic, and if they lose sight, then they need to immediately advise air traffic control. That being said, we don't know all the facts yet, and I don't want to speculate too much, but I do think that it's possible that the Black Hawk pilots thought that they were visual with the CRJ aircraft, when in reality they were maybe looking at something else, and they had no idea they were about to collide until it was too late.
Yeah. That's actually a pretty good video. I thought that guy put it together pretty well. Just very concise and to the point, no extraneous bullshit data to muck it up, just the facts, right? What we can actually know. And I mean, he had the actual flight recorder data, tried to sync up the audio with things, so I think it was actually a pretty decent video. I've never seen this guy before. I just saw one of his videos pop up, and I figured I'd give it a shot, and I was like, damn, this guy actually seems to have put his homework together on this particular situation, right? Because there's obviously a ton of conspiracy theories out there about it, but, come on, man, I don't know. I don't know, bro, There's a lot of folks that are bringing up some other shit, right? If you go try to look it up on Google right now, just look up remote control Black Hawk helicopter, you're gonna get not that. I mean, you'll see a bunch of small helicopters, right? Like a small remote control helicopters, but they're obviously not going to be to scale, right? They're not going to be to scale. Oh, damn, we just got a donation! Money, 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 money! Money! All right, we got another sucker! $4.99 in the kitty! We're going to eat some steak tomorrow night. Thanks so much, Baldo, for your generous donation to the Griftcast and making it into a grift. Oh my god. It's like lava. The Freemasons did it. I already knew that you guys were going to bring that shit up. So, let's see. Is there really a Black Hawk helicopter that's military that can be remotely controlled, or is that just like bullshit? Right? It's just crazy. Crazy. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it before. I heard people talking about it, or I read about people talking about it on the actual Twitter. But did I actually retweet it? I don't think I did. Let's see. What happens if we look at it on Twitter? Remote control Black Hawk. Wow, it autofilled. Yeah, what is this? Watch this Black Hawk helicopter fly itself! That's sick. Lockheed Martin. Seems legit. AUSA National Convention. Okay. Fuck that music. So, what are you trying to say? It was the Freemasons? It was the Freemasons that overtook the remote control centers of the plane with the pilots inside and made this happen, and the pilots were trying to fight it? Or maybe it was like an AI-controlled flight, and they were testing out some new secret priority stuff or whatever because they were transferring the AI, and the AI took over the helicopter, crashed it into a plane just to be all like, yeah, look, bitches, what I can do. I just killed all your fucking ice skaters that you love. Now what? Could be. That could be it. That's a crazy conspiracy. But yes, autonomy, congested logistics with our Matrix flight autonomy system. We're delivering the future today! Yeah! Dude, They gave the thumbs up. Come on, dude. They gave the thumbs up. So, yeah. Unless AI was projecting images or holograms on the windows, tricking the pilots, I base this absolutely no idea of the helicopter's abilities. Our ground lightning was aimed in such a way to obscure what was real and what was never was. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But I did say that, I would bring up the good conspiracies today, right? Sirkovsky to convert Black Hawk helicopter into a drone for DARPA. Yes, Black Hawk drone. An oversized drone. And look at this. Gitmo TV. Gitmo TV. Yeah, Gitmo Life, Gitmo TV. Those QAnon guys, they can't fucking come up with a goddamn thing on their own, son. Damn, same two pictures in a video from a completely different account. Lot of people up in here. What's this one? Ooh.
Listening right now to WTTG. We're now then Marla, we see that plane head down towards the Potomac River.
Oh, what an image there. And according to our sister station in D.C., WTTG, that in fact is confirmed that a small aircraft collided with a helicopter.
The VH-60M is an unusual model, says Daily Mind Virus. Oh shit, here we go. Look who it fucking is. What's up, baby? You cute. You're staying out of trouble, keeping that wife happy. All right, so what was it called? It's got to be Matrix Flight System. You should be able to find the video from Lockheed because these guys are obviously fucking getting it from somewhere. Oh, Black Hawk. Ooh, that sounds too much like Black Hawk. And I'm demonetized. Well, we made $5 though, so it's all right. It's all right. You probably won't find any data on it. I think it's used for continuity of government options into the Department of Defense. You're not supposed to be saying stuff like that, sir. Shh. Oh, here it is. Ed Nash's military matters 2 years ago. Among the U.S. Army, for sources on this matter can be found here. And he's got Kofi. The appearance of the U.S. Department video is not an endorsement. Wow, 2 years ago.
Unmanned vehicles, or drones as is much easier to say, are currently all over the military news sphere.
Ah, so this was from 2 years ago. So wait, while we're looking at that...
Mostly this is because of developments in Ukraine, where Russia has begun using large numbers of Iranian-designed and supplied aerial drones in swarm attacks, while the Ukrainians recently launched a raid on the Russian Black Sea Fleet with multiple unmanned surface vessels, i.e. drone kamikaze boats. But less heralded is that the US Army has just conducted a series of trials that are interesting as they have been exploring the possibility of integrating unmanned technology systems with in-service platforms. In the first half of October, the Army, along with DARPA and Sikorsky, successfully conducted trials for the first time with an unmanned Black Hawk helicopter. This flew several mission profiles over a number of days, including with internal and external cargo and a simulated rescue operation. The intention was to demonstrate how current and future...
Hey, that kind of looks like the thing that they moved the egg thing with.
Future helicopters can be capable of flying complex missions without flight personnel actually being on board. This opens the possibility of high-risk missions being attempted that might otherwise not be considered feasible due to the risks to the flight crew being unacceptable. The trial involved the pilots flying to a waypoint disembarking, and activating the autonomous control system, which is designated as the Sikorsky Matrix. In the test, the Black Hawk then flew autonomously at speeds of up to 100 knots at heights as low as 200 feet through rough terrain. In fact, the description of one of the tests is interesting in demonstrating the potential of the system. The Black Hawk lifted off with a 2,600 pound external load attached to a 40-foot sling suspended underneath the aircraft. It then flew for 30 minutes to the drop zone, but once there encountered a simulated hostile situation. A ground operator ordered the test aircraft to release its load in a safe location and then land at another site to collect a casualty and take it to a field hospital. This mannequin was fitted with a backdock patient monitoring device that was able to relay the simulated patient's vital signs to ground-based medical personnel via the helicopter's communication system.
Bro, what the fuck? That's insane.
Experiments on using unmanned helicopters in actual field conditions have been ongoing for over a decade, with the Cayman K-MAX being used by the US Marine Corps in Afghanistan for several years on resupply missions. But with Matrix, Sikorsky appears to be aiming at integrating more sophisticated autonomous flight operations into both current rotary wing aircraft and potentially as a standard feature in future helicopters planned for the US military, including the new Defiant X and Raider X. Helicopters have long been recognised to be highly vulnerable to battle damage, and the danger to flight crew in high-risk operations has basically had to be a factor in their use since the start of military rotary aviation. But if the Matrix...
So is that where they're getting all of their videos from? I mean, why would it they even... Who would have even thought that there would have even been a remote Black Hawk? I mean, here's another video here 2 years ago from Lockheed Martin itself. But, you know, we're talking 2 years ago, right? And that was the U.S. Army's Project Convergence 2022 experimental flight. So, I mean, if you're willing to jump to the conclusion that it was a remote-controlled Army helicopter, I mean, there's some substance, I guess, to say that the Army was doing trials for it. They had a project called Project Convergence in 2022. It's been a couple of years. It's 2025 now. There's a strong possibility. Do you think that the Army could have implemented that so quickly? Right? Autonomous helicopters? Like, that's a little fucking crazy, bro. A little crazy. Yeah, that's a little nuts. And yeah, there are a lot of different individuals that are practicing. Here's Lockheed Martin's website for their Matrix technology system. Although it doesn't really seem... Oh, look at that. Matrix and Sarah. Sikorsky Autonomy Research Aircraft is a modified S-76B helicopter that was converted into a flying lab. They had an S-70 Black Hawk helicopter that was flying autonomously. So they did have a Black Hawk, but it was an S-70 Black Hawk, not a UH-60M. And then they would have needed to be faking communications to the helo. Okay, so what? You would have to have, I guess, faked it with some artificial intelligence shit. I guess that's a possibility if you want to get Metal Gear Solid with the shit, right? But yeah, wait, hold on a second. We actually have updates on this story. Look at that. And it's actually pretty recent, 2024. Command an autonomous Black Hawk from 300 miles away. Sikorsky and Ray successfully demonstrate autonomous flights with wildfire autonomy for rapidly find and suppress fires for government agencies. And then they demonstrated the autonomy to the United States Marine Corps. And that's pretty recently, according to them, as of December 11th of 2024. Operationally demonstration flights during the 2025 using Swarovski's optional pilot UH-60. Holy fucking shit. During 2025 using Swarovski optionally piloted UH-60 Black Hawk helicopter will inform service aerial logistic connector programs on how autonomous aircraft can resupply and sustain Marines in contested battle space. Okay, I can kind of see what they're saying. I mean, what they're right there. Interesting. Very, very interesting. In July at the Safford Airport in Virginia, and again in 2024 of October, the Association of the United States Army USA exposition at the Washington, D.C. Swarovski and DARPA demonstrated autonomously flights of optionally piloted Black Hawks for the Department of Defense officials. After October, leaders at the trade so forward learned to send high-level mission goals to the helicopter 300 miles away at the Swarovski headquarters in Connecticut. The aircraft autonomously took off, flew a short circuit of the flight field, and landed successfully. These demonstrations build on autonomous logistics from Project Convergence in 2022, when Swarovski and DARPA demonstrated that the U.S. Army how optionally piloted Black Hawk helicopters operating without humans on board can safely and reliably perform internal and external cargo resupply missions. Well, fuck. That's going to be a big conspiracy that's going to dream up. I mean, fuck! God damn it! Come on, man! I was supposed to just look that up, but it was not supposed to be so fucking. So you're fucking lying! U.S. Fire Administrator Dr. Lori Morrell learns send commands via rain tablet to an autonomous Black Hawk helicopter dropping water onto flames. What? You're fucking lying! They could just fucking order a tablet to fucking. Munchy, we're so fucked. Sorry, baby. Munchy, we're so fucked. Lunchy, they got autonomously flying Black Hawk helicopters, Lunchy. They got helicopters flying themselves. Get up here. I need my baby girl. What have you been sitting over there? You just been humping your bed? Is that what you've been doing over there? Just humping your bed? That's fine. You weirdo. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. You're lying! They're lying, Munchy. They gotta be fucking lying. No fucking way, dude. You're fucking lying.
Representatives from NASA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, DARPA, Los Angeles County Fire Department, Orange County Fire Authority, and the philanthropic and impact investment community witnessed the demonstration as part of a two-day wildlands firefighting meeting to discuss autonomy. Government agencies, aerial firefighting operators, and investors are coming together to learn and see how both flight and mission autonomy can help prevent high-intensity million-acre wildfires, said Maxwell Brody, RAIN CEO. Wildfires cost the United States over $390 billion annually, and multiple risk factors are set to grow up to 30% by 2030. We look forward to demonstrating to lawmakers how autonomous aircraft can stop fires from breaking out, or continue the fight into the night, and in turbulent and smoky conditions, where crewed aircraft wouldn't venture. During the 30-minute flight demonstration, guests used a tablet to command the Black Hawk aircraft to take off, search and find the fire, then drop water from a Bambi bucket slung 60 feet beneath the aircraft. Each of 3 successive water drops extinguished a 12-inch diameter propane-fueled fire ring emitting a 3 to 6 inch tall flame, demonstrating the precision of the rain fire perception and targeting capability. The rain system also rapidly adjusted the flight path to account for an 8 to 10 knot crosswind during each water drop. Sikorsky safety pilots in the Black Hawk cockpit monitored the flight controls, but were hands-off until the aircraft landed. With Rain's wildfire mission software loaded onto the aircraft and a tablet, wildland firefighters in the field could deploy autonomous Black Hawk or Firehawk helicopters to search and attack wildfires before they spread out of control, said Igor Cherpinsky, director of Sikorsky Innovation's Rapid Development/Prototyping Group. Having worked closely together for over a year, our two companies are ready to demonstrate the joint capability in more dynamic conditions chosen by firefighters. Representatives attending the demonstration provided real-time input and observations to the Rain and Sikorsky teams. This technology that we used to think of as being on the horizon is here now, no longer just a figment of our imagination, said Genevieve Biggs, director of the Gordon and Betty Moore Foundation's Wildfire Resilience Initiative and Special Projects Program. It's humbling to see this impressive machine, and think about the improvement in safety that becomes possible when you're layering into wildland firefighting and autonomous operation, as Rain and Sikorsky have been able to do together.
That's fucking terrifying. That is the most terrifying thing that I've seen this week. So, we have autonomous Black Hawks that you can control from a fucking tablet that are so accurate they can dump water precisely. But hey, man, what if it wasn't dumping water? What if it was dumping a bomb? You could have an autonomous Black Hawk dumping bombs. What's wrong with you? You just want to be over there in your bed? You mad at daddy or something? What do I do this time? I make you burgers, I give you water, and you're still... Yeah. Well, I guess it is all Lockheed Martin now. Wow. That's fucking insane. Yeah, so they can do that autonomously. You're telling me that they can fly that and they can do all this shit off of a fucking tablet? That's a little sus, man. It's a little fucking sus, bro. Sussy wussy. Yeah, that's sussy wussy. Yeah. You know, I don't know why. Why kill figure skaters, dude? Tragedy with figure skaters. I don't know. What about like Tanya Harding and shit like that? There's so many different tragedies. It's a tragedy. 14 figure skaters among the deaths of the DC plane victims. Yeah, like why take out figure skaters? You got Gina Hahn, right? Spencer Lane. What could all of these people have in common? You know, what's big with the figure skater that's gonna... They had U.S. and Russian figure skaters. So maybe they were trying to take out the Russians, right? Maybe that's what this is all about. Maybe some deep state element was trying to get the Russian figure skaters. Yevgeny Shishkov and Vadim Novum. Dude, maybe somebody hacked the system. But then, you know, we would have to be making a lot of jumps. Yeah. Maybe the skaters are spies. Yeah, I just don't think that there's still a lot of like, okay, so they had it tested in the type of helicopter. Yes, you can say that, yeah, they can remotely control a helicopter, but like, how? How? Do they gotta install something on it? Do they add like a computer and plug something in and then that thing can control everything because it's all electronic anyway? You know, there's a lot of big questions there because you gotta be making a huge leap that, you know, this aircraft was just there. And then at the same time, maybe we're looking at that possibility. Maybe there's a reason that it crashed, right? Maybe it was one of those autonomous testing flights that they were doing. And this is just another routine thing for them because they had been testing the helicopter out and they sent it out on a mission, obviously manned, but the helicopter was in control, right? And then the pilots were basically utilizing the system, and then the system basically is the thing that made the mistake. And, thinking back to what that map looked like, it doesn't quite actually seem to be too wrong of a thing.
American Airlines Flight 5342 was 33. What the controls like they were planning to accept it to fly over the land, it was
because I'll be honest with you, like the flight path for the helicopter seems really strange, right? Like I don't see why the dude would have been flying in such a strange way because you see him making like 90-degree turns, right? And I feel like a regular pilot wouldn't be doing that type of shit, right? Makes more sense to me that I'd be watching an autonomously piloted helicopter trying to navigate this difficult terrain because this would be a test that you would want to put a helicopter like that on, If you could have autonomous helicopters picking up people from Reagan and dropping them off like fucking Uber or whatever, that would be something that you would probably want to do. But if you look at that flight path, it's making some really weird moves. Like, I feel like a human pilot would have done more circular motions, like would have had more curves in their actions and interactions and attitudes. But this thing is like making weird movements. And then sure, maybe the pilots are like, oh yeah, we got the thing on visual. But, maybe there's like a disconnect in between the flight collision avoidance system and the actual pilot system, and it doesn't know how to interpret those warnings. Human error is the number one cause of aviation accidents. Yeah, probably. They haven't given us the names of the pilots of the Black Hawk because I believe that's confidential information. But think about it. As far as we can tell, I mean, maybe the conspiracy theory people have it away. The closest that we could see is that in Virginia, right, they were actually doing testing of this aircraft or of this autonomous aircraft system in that area. And the plane was registered to the Army, or the helicopter was registered to the fucking Army. Very interesting.
It's going to be very easy to lose sight of them because of all of the lights from the city, especially because there's not going to be a lot of relative motion, visual separation.
Pat 25.
In sight, request visual separation, and the controller said visual separation approved. At that point, the Black Hawk pilot has accepted the responsibility of maintaining visual separation from the CRJ.
Media have already stated no VIPs were aboard the helicopter, just 3 military personnel. Even so, I thought people would be interested when the helicopter took off. Oh, did they delete it? Oh, maybe I gotta not block it. Hex 8033. Where's the fucking fail? Let's see. This website lists the owner of the address on the map showed as the Royal Embassy of Saudi Arabia. Other sites and documents list numerous Saudi Arabian diplomats and scholars relating at that area. What the fuck, dude? Wow, that was a whole day ago. Oh, it could detect my ad blocker. That's probably why it's not letting me fucking see that shit. Interesting. House of the Royal Embassy of Saudi Arabia, with a lot of people that were listed as living there. That's pretty interesting. Indeed.
Washington, 1 star, 32017.
How did you see that?
472. American 3130, go around, turn left in 250, climb maintain 3000.
Okay, left heading 350, 3000, American 3130. Take him heading for American 3130.
American 3130, go around, turn left in 270, climb maintain 3000.
270 heading 3000, American 3130.
Command, the accident happened in the river. Both the helicopter and the plane crashed in the river. It's east of the approach end of runway 33.
25, get the 0J in flight. Pass 25, pass bonded.
The air traffic controller who radioed Pat 32, do you have a CRJ in sight before it collided with the Aerocom Eagle flight? Very, very interesting. Sorry, I'm just kind of postulating at this particular times. ADB exchange. Yeah, they don't want me to do that. Actually, hold up. I could probably fix that real quick. I just have to go turn off my ad block server. Because oh yeah, I gotta just flip that off, right? Yeah, just flip that off. And then refresh this. I'll probably still say it's on. Shift. Press that shit. Turn it off. I turned it off, bitch. Na-na-na-na-na-na-na. It's not working. Suck my butt. Suck a bitch ass. Damn it. Well, fuck it. I'm gonna turn the shields back up then. I'm just going to turn the shields back up then. So yes, the military aircraft was conducting a training flight according to Joint Task Force National Capital Region Media Chief. Jesus fucking Christ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 fucking words in front of their name. They still have Chief Heather. It belonged to B Company 12th Aviation Battalion out of Fort Belvoir, Air Virginia. Interesting. Yeah, it definitely feels like a tragedy all around, and there's pretty big things. Still many unanswered questions about this whole entire thing. But it does say they were operating these autonomous flights out of Virginia. Like right there, Safford Airport, Virginia. And again, in an exposition in D.C. I mean, Quantico, Alexandria. How far is this from D.C.? Doesn't seem like it's really that far. You got Fayetteville, Fairfax, Washington, Baltimore, all the bullshit. Yeah. I guess that's not really too far of a stretch to really think about. Because it says, wait, where did that article go? Right here. It says they were at a Fort Belvoir. Show me it on the fucking map, bitch. Yeah, dude, they're pretty fucking close together, man. Safford Airport's down here, and it's there. I mean, it's a decent amount. It's a decent amount of thing, but that does, honestly, seem pretty close. Yeah, it's 30 miles, dude. The crew has to maintain a minimum number of MVG hours, so they were probably doing a PFE flight to make sure that they rest of the clock, or they reset the clock on their training. Guess that makes sense, but I don't know, dude. I feel like we're getting into something here, because if you look, it's about 30 miles in between those if you drive in a car, if you're driving on a road, but that's almost exactly on the nose with 30 miles flying around. And didn't I read something here that the test flights were like 30 miles, but they were able to control it from 300 miles away? Yeah, at the annual meeting in D.C., visitors and Army representatives were carrying out missions 300 miles away. But the route was only 30 miles. I know I read that somewhere on one of these pages, right? That the practice routes that they were doing were 30 miles. Yeah, I think we're onto something there. Alright, yeah, that's super fucked up, man. I'm definitely gonna have to bring that up to somebody. Definitely gonna have to bring that up to somebody when I get to work. Yeah. Yeah. I don't even really know what to say at this fucking point. I wasn't expecting it to go like that. I did it on purpose. I didn't look that shit up beforehand just so I could be surprised, and now I'm just kind of dumbfounded. Yo, what the fuck? I mean, it all fits together. If they were able to control a helicopter through, where's the only other question is where was that trade show? ASUSA Trade Show, Association of the United States Army. Where do they hold that shit? Be all you can be in Washington, D.C. Where do they go? But yeah, even without remote control, the aircraft has autopilot. This is true. This is true. it does have autopilot. So most of them have autopilot. So what's the thing that they're adding to it in order to remotely control it? I guess that's the real question. Probably some sort of satellite system. Or, I mean, I guess you could probably control it with some kind of ultra high band wave frequency shit with radio waves, but it kind of seems stupid. I could probably get that done with the Starlink and the Raspberry Pi. Just have to, put the antennas back here probably. Yeah, that's a little screwed up, man. I was not expecting that to go that crazy. Yeah. Lockheed Martin was demonstrating this remote Black Hawk technology in Washington, D.C. mere months ago, 2 weeks before the 2024 election. We're hooking up with the ground crew and a sling load, and we're using a tablet to control the whole fucking thing. Wow, look at this guy. He says that you can't remotely control a Black Hawk helicopter, even though there's literally tons of people that are posting up about it. Like, yo, bro, this is nuts, man. This shit is nuts, bro. They did the demonstration at Fort Campbell. Really? How do you know that? How do you know that, Daily Mind Virus? That seems like some. How do you know it was Fort Campbell? I haven't seen red Fort Campbell nowhere. Security breach. Whoop, 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 whoop. I'm reporting you to the IA. Yes, this man named Daily Mind Virus in his chat, he was saying some shit that he should have known. How do you know that he should have known? Damn it, fuck myself. Anyways, wow, bro. ASUSA convention, UAV engine start. Watch this Black Hawk fly itself.
Hey everyone, I am Tanya Harding, and I am on X. Oh my God, I'm so excited. Happy New Year. Join me there, and let's chat it up. Love you. God bless.
Wait, what's this? Connect the dots. Yesterday, infamous retired figure skater Tanya Harding made an announcement that she started an X account. Today, American airline crash was reported 2 Russian figure skaters were on the flight. The flight was also set to land on runway 33. Yes, 33. The flight was also an American Eagle plane. The Philadelphia Eagles will be playing in the Super Bowl. Lots of coincidences here. Ooh, nice ass. That was a nice booty. Gotta love some tight booties. Woo! Damn, Tanya Harding is definitely looking pretty rough, though. She is definitely. What is she, like fucking 70 or 80? I mean, she don't look bad for like an old bitch, but you know. Wow. So I can see where people may be developing that there could possibly be some sort of conspiracy around this flight thing. Like, that's a lot of coincidences lining up. You know, fucking if QAnon was still around, or, you know, fucking, I bet you we're going to get a helicopter anon. We already had UAP, or UFO Aganon, or whatever the fuck we're calling him. You know, maybe we could get Black Hawk anon. I said Black Hawk. Okay. Jeez. Yeah, I probably should stop saying that, because that's just a trap, probably. But I guess we do have a bit of a compelling situation. Notice how Daily Mind Virus started to stop talking all of a sudden? You guys see that shit? That's weird, bro. That's weird. Where's Fort Campbell? In Kentucky. Fort Campbell in Kentucky. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. I see something that I recognize. Uh-oh. Whee! Alert, alert. Whee! Alert, alert. Whee! 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 Yeah, I do see something. Fort Campbell is a United States Army installation located in Kentucky-Tennessee border. And it is the 160th Special Operations Battalion Regiment. Hey, I've clicked on this link before. Why have I clicked on this link before? That's really weird. The 160 SOR consists of the Army's best qualified aviators, crew chiefs, and support soldiers, all volunteer, enlisted, or volunteered in the military. Oh. So yeah, this is probably who was flying that fucking helicopter then. And if it was those guys, man, that fucking sucks. They were probably just trying to get their hours and they couldn't see the fucking plane. That's fucked, dude. Right there. Sikorsky UH-60, United States military. Some models were upgraded to direct action penetrator variants. And there's currently 71 of those in stock. They did have 72, but obviously we just lost one last night, so there's only 71. So, okay. Oh, fuck. All right, cool. So that company is the company that makes the fucking helicopter. And it is also the company that is doing all the autonomous flight trial shit. Fuck, I was trying to debunk that shit. God damn it. Why does this keep happening? You're fucking joking me, dude. It's like, wait a minute. Didn't we have a page? Do you guys remember a couple weeks ago when we were looking at stuff online and we saw that military page? Fuck, I should have saved that. We probably could have looked it up on that military, like, listing of all of the assets around the world. Fuck, hey. But, I guess I didn't fucking save it? Oh, that's a bonehead move. I thought I fucking bookmarked that shit. Maybe if I look at my history, type .mil. Would have been a couple of months ago. Yeah, CTC Odin. No results found. Well, what the fuck? JRTC, JMRC, NTC, MCTP. What would it be? I think this is just an equipment guide for vehicles. I don't know if I can get planes here. You are accessing a U.S. government information system. Virtual Outdoor Academy Worldwide Equipment Guide. See, that's what I thought I was looking at, but does it not come in? Golden Hawk Black Society, UH-660, American Utility Helicopter, South Korean medical evacuation helicopter. Check history for U-Mark. Yeah, I could do that. Let me see if I can. I did look up stuff for U-Mark right here. I think that's how I got to this actual apps.etc.mil thing that I was looking at earlier. You know, isn't it really weird? Hey guys, isn't it fucking really weird that I got access to half of this shit? Well, that's really stupid if I could just go like that. Oh, no. Soldiers are probably going to come to my house and break my shit down. Now, didn't it say that it was a Black Hawk M? What the fuck is a Black Hawk M? Like, they don't even have that listed on here. Wait, right here. Gold top, heavily modified UH-60M is used for executive transport, members of the Joint Chiefs, congressional leadership, and other DoD personnel are exclusively flown by the 12th Aviation Battalion at Fort Belvoir. Yeah, M is a digital cockpit. Okay. Yeah, but it's I'm just looking at what it says here. It says that means that it's a modified system, right? Because that's what it says here. Gold top, heavily modified, used for executive transport. Interestingly enough, there's a Japanese variant that's made by Mitsubishi Heavy Industries. Fuck, Mitsubishi makes fucking crazy shit. Yeah, M has got autopilot. M has also got probably would have the ability to do the remote piloting shit. But that's like a helicopter. Isn't that like an upgraded helicopter so that it's actually fucking nice inside? Let's see. Oh, it's like fucking looking up the whole entire fucking shit on that. Obviously made. Oh, there's a cockpit image. Here we go. The UH-660M's. Yep. Here we go.
The UH-60M incorporates upgraded T700G 701D engines, improved rotor blades, and state-of-the-art electronic instrumentation, flight controls and aircraft navigation control. After the US DoD approved low-rate initial production of the new variant, manufacturing began in 2006, with the first of 22 new UH-60MS delivered in July 2006. After an initial operational evaluation, the Army approved full-rate production and a 5-year contract for 1,227 helicopters in December 2007. By March 2.
Hey, poor man's. Mitsubishi still makes the best fucking TVs. Sad to say. I love my new TV, but like, the old Mitsubishi TV that I had that was like 100 fucking inches or whatever, heavy as fucking shit. That TV was the shit, bro. HD as fuck, bro. Projection, like fucking fast ass refresh rate. That thing was the fucking shit, bro. Those old TVs were the shit, bro. They were the shit. Huh. So yeah, they said by March 2009, 100 UHM copters were delivered to the military, and they ordered a bunch of other types. So yeah, and then even here, look at that. I keep talking about it, or I've talked about this before.
Following their use in the operation to kill Osama bin Laden in May 2011, it emerged that the 160th SOR used a secret version of the UH-60 modified with low observable technology which enabled it to evade Pakistani radar. Analysis of the tail section, the only remaining part of the aircraft which crashed during the operation, revealed extra blades on the tail rotor and other noise reduction measures, making the craft much quieter than conventional UH-60s. The aircraft appeared to include features like special high-tech materials, harsh angles, and flat surfaces found only in stealth jets. Low observable versions of the Black Hawk have been studied as far back as the mid-1970s. In September 2012, Sikorsky was awarded a Combat Tempered Platform Demonstration (CTPD) contract to further improve the Black Hawk's durability and survivability. The company is to develop new technologies such as a zero-vibration system, adaptive flight control laws, advanced fire management, a more durable main rotor, full-spectrum crashworthiness, and damage-tolerant airframe. Then they are to transition them to the helicopter. Improvements to the Black Hawk are to continue until the future vertical lift program is ready to replace it. In December 2014, the 101st Airborne Division began testing new.
Yo, what? They have a stealth Black Hawk? That's fucking crazy, bro. Huh. And then if you think about it, they got the VH-60N, and that's the one that they use to transport the government officials. Which you got to think that
The Black Hawk helicopter series can perform a wide array of missions,
like, I believe the M's that are configured for this are kind of like the M's or the N's that are configured for the President Marine One.
including the tactical transport of troops, electronic warfare, and aeromedical evacuation. A VIP version known as the VH-60N is used to transport important government officials, e.g., Congress, executive departments, with the helicopter's call sign of Marine One when transporting the President of the United States. In air assault operations, it can move a squad of 11 combat troops or reposition a 105mm M119 howitzer with 30 rounds ammunition, and a 4-man crew in a single lift. The Black Hawk is equipped with advanced avionics and electronics for increased survivability and capability, such as the Global Positioning System. VH-60N. The UH-60 can be equipped with stub wings at the top of fuselage to carry fuel tanks or various armaments. The initial stub wing system is called External Stores Support.
Bro. Yeah, this is looking crazy as fuck, bro. Like, well, of course that they have stuff that's not public. Well, why would I fly a flight simulator? I think I actually own Microsoft Flight Simulator, but the game runs like shit. I could fly, still, I could fly around. Yeah. The Arab Emirates requested 14 UH-60M helicopters and associated equipment in September 2008 through foreign military sales, and it's only received 20 UH-60Ls. Well, yeah, I guess the Saudis would probably have some too. Tunisia requested him. Latvia requested to get UH-60M Blackhawks. Lithuania, the Royal Air Force is getting the new ones. And yeah, I guess this is exactly what they were talking about right here. UH-60M Black Hawk, and then they got the upgrade, fly-by-wire system, command avionics architecture, CAS cockpit suite, and they were testing it in 2008. Yeah, it's a little great. It's a little fucked up. Yeah, dude, what's up, babyface? Well, none of this is giving me any good feelings, to be perfectly frank with you. None of this is giving me any perfect, like, where do we go? So, the official story that everybody's talking about is that tragedy struck. A helicopter was flying and accidentally crashed into a plane, right? It was a helicopter that was supposedly doing a PAT 25 flight, which was supposed to be transporting somebody. There was only 3 people inside of the helicopter, so whoever they were supposed to be transporting wasn't there, but they still made the flight anyway, probably trying to get their hours or something like that, and disaster struck. For some reason, the CAS systems and other things just didn't allow them to see that plane and realize they were on a collision course and went down. That's the official story. The next story was the conspiracy, where people are starting to talk about, well, you can remotely control a Black Hawk helicopter. I guess the big question would be, who was supposed to be on that plane? Or who was supposed to be on the plane? Who was supposed to be on that helicopter? That's the question that I don't think I've seen anybody answer. That would be like, if I was an investigator or something like that, I would be looking at that. Like, so we have all of this extraneous information, but if I was like a government investigator of some kind or whatever, my first question would automatically be, who is supposed to be on that helicopter flight? Right? Like, who was supposed to be on it? Why didn't they get on it? Why weren't they there? And then I would start looking at, what does that person do? What's that person been involved in the past? Right? Like, because it seems like they were obviously trying. Seems like they were trying to get rid of somebody, and that plane was just, opportunity target of some kind. I don't know, man. I don't know. Even more so, like, okay, somebody was supposed to be on that flight, then somebody remotely controlled it, and then crashed it into another plane, crashed it into a plane to save something. I don't know. I don't know. They could have filed the flight as PAT 25 and the passenger canners and so on them, so they decided to do training and not waste the flight hours. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. So, the guys got on the flight, they wanted to do some training flights. It's pretty routine shit that they do every day, but they needed to get some training hours in, so they get in and they go do it. And then they're in the middle of the flight, all of a sudden, they're like, oh, hey, yeah, we see the plane, and then something happens. Something takes over, makes it happen. The AI took over and started controlling the plane as a beta test for what it's going to do next. Like, there's always going to be people that are going to be trying to push conspiracy theory spin on that shit. But, I mean, everything that we just looked up basically confirms a lot of the stuff that we've read in the news. Like, literally the only place that they say that thing could have came out of is this place. And if it was picking up somebody at Fort Campbell and then flying them over to Fort Belvoir, so it's like, it probably originated at Belvoir and then flew over to the spot, and Campbell was trying to pick somebody up. That person didn't show up, so in order to keep getting their hours and get their flight time, they just finished the flight. And then some shit went down. Yeah. Yeah, Jock Shara, who's in the military, and one of the people questioning it on TikTok says, I'm telling you right now, they could kill me for saying it. Under no circumstances is a military helicopter, especially a fucking Black Hawk, accidentally crashing into a commercial plane. Yep. There's no way, bringing up the call sign, what's on the helicopter, you know. Maybe we'll actually see the TikTok. Oh, no. Just brought me to the TikTok page. Yep. Oh, this makes sense. None of this makes sense. My bro-in-law has had DI hires as co-pilots at Southwest who have never flown a jet before. I mean, it's everybody's first time flying a jet. They probably trust your bro a lot and realize that, you know, he probably doesn't need the co-pilot. But, you know, your bro's probably not having a heart attack or anything. He's probably not out there plowing horse and doing blow and getting drunk before every fucking flight like that one dude in that one movie or whatever. Was it Sully? Or no, it's the one with Denzel Washington. Yeah, although that one with fucking Tom Hanks where he flips the plate, that shit is equally as fucking legendary. Equally legendary. I mean, what do we say, dude, at this point? I mean, this is going to be a crazy investigation. Everything that we're seeing about it, this thing's flying by the White House and just fucking colliding with something. None of that shit makes any goddamn sense. And obviously, all of the stuff that they show from the news, it doesn't really show all the weird movements that helicopter was making. It was a female and kept missing calls from the tower. That's funny. What about the blind and mentally disabled? What about the blind pilot that they hired? I can't wait. I was really hoping for, like, during the DEI times, that we would get our first blind pilot, you know, our first blind deaf pilot flying a plane. You gotta hire, bro, dude. Gotta fill a quota. You know, how many blind deaf people you got in your company, bro? How many fucking blind deaf people? Yeah. Do you see that?
Pat 25, get the surgery in flight. Pat 25, pass on this surgery. Good service. American 472 by passing operating visual. American 472, Washington Star, 1 star, 32017. Our visual win.
That is true. I do believe that that helicopter remote control theory is eerily similar to the MH370 theory that we had seen floating around, walking around, moving around. I'm telling you, bro, this whole thing is just sketchy. Sketchy. Yeah. I don't know. Primarily, it definitely seems like the Black Hawk is the one that is at fault for the accident, right? And it's just a terrible loss of life that we're looking at, but the conspiracy that is building behind it is pretty fucking insane, right? It's pretty fucking insane. How do you even think about that? I mean, you know, what else happened today? We had Kash Patel in his confirmation hearing for the FBI. Did he actually get confirmed? I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to get confirmed. What else are they going to do? I remember talking to that guy actually for a bit. But we do think that he's going to get confirmed. What else was happening over here? Like, look at this right here. U.S. Department of Defense, dude. Former chief of staff to the Secretary of Defense, and he's going to be in charge of the FBI. That's the kind of people that you really want to impress. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then at the same time, Tulsi Gabbard was also on the confirmation block. Cash is our neighbor in the next town over. Oh, yeah, Bridgeport. He seems like a really nice guy, though. He definitely knew who the fuck I was. He definitely knew who I was. But all respected as aside, like, stuff like that usually comes to fruition, right? And if you're really going to restructure the government, the FBI, you're really going to want some fucking solid people looking into those folks. Because, I mean, the rot in this country, I feel like, is just deep, dog. It's just super deep. And if we can't get good people in good positions, it doesn't matter how many good investigations that we do, I think that, like, especially in positions for, like, the government and stuff, like, everybody has online presence, right? Everybody has something out there. Like, you could look at me as an example of that, where I have an extensive online presence, right? But that extensive online presence, regardless of what some people have said about me online, like, has created issues, right, for certain things, but I've never actually had a problem getting clearances or, like, passing background checks with the FBI or other people and shit like that. Like, people have to investigate that stuff. They look into that stuff. But they also have, like, large dockets of information. Every single one of those tips that she sent into the FBI and stuff like that, like, that's the kind of stuff that pops up when you're looking at people, right? The thing that is interesting to say, though, is that, like, stuff on, like, Twitter, X, Facebook, and stuff like that doesn't really have the same kind of weight. I mean, it is weighted by them in a certain way, but, like, it's pretty clear to anybody that's, like, a half-decent investigator worth their salt that you can pretty clearly tell when, like, some people are just fucking spouting off nonsense on the internet and then actually, like, have a thing. Like, I just had that shit today with this fool that's been fucking on my dick about Racine. Every time he discovers me on Twitter, usually after Schoenberger has been around, he'll find me on Twitter and then just start lambasting me about George Webb, Jason Goodman, Racine, Mike Flynn, and, like, just fucking word vomit shit all fucking day today. Telling you, dude, I got up at 7 a.m. today. I got up at 7 because I went to bed early because my back hurt. And literally, all fucking day today, bro. I literally was, like, sitting there and he's just talking shit to me all fucking day, bro. All fucking day. All fucking day. Like, seriously. Talk about Trevor Fitzgibbons. Trevor got pissed off at me and blocked me. I called him a fag and said his shit was all retarded. I mean, it was just a long-ass day, and, I mean, I hate it. So, like, I just kept telling this guy, dude, like, just come on the show and explain it to me so I can look at this shit, because, like, what you're doing right now is retarded, right? But they're trying to drag back all that stuff, right? And then, Trevor's trying to claim now that the first time that he talked to Thomas was July 7th, 2017. Yet, I got messages from him from the month prior in DM conversations where his Tour Life account was in the same DM rooms as some other people like Thomas and them, and they were talking about bullshit. So, yeah, he may be trying to really distance himself from all of that stuff or whatever, but, like, dog, we remember, bro. And congratulations for, getting yourself into doing PR for Robert Kennedy Jr. I mean, that's a pretty big one for you, dude. You got a Super Bowl commercial done for them? Like, that's a pretty big PR move for you, dude. Move it up. Move it up. You're still a fucking dipshit. But yeah, dipshit womanizer. What did I fucking say about him? Clearly, I did say some shit. I thought it was pretty funny. I did think it was pretty funny, actually. But it's like, oh yeah. What did I say about him? I said, Trevor is a no talent hack. I will never forget him begging for money for me when I had to pick him up from the airport. He was always a woman chasing loser who dipshit his way up. It's the dumbasses like him that got Julian Assange caught up. Wonder what female he's sucking up money of these days. Which is, honestly my opinion. And while that may be scathing, I don't hate Trevor as a person. I just don't consider him a friend because, he was palling around with some pieces of shit. And honestly, like, his character, the way that he carried himself, and honestly, like, I wasn't about it. I wasn't about it, dog. Like, he's exactly the kind of person that I'd be trying to keep out of this, right? Because that's the big problem with the last administration. All this DEI bullshit and other things really fucked up how the system works, how people are placed, basically, right? Because, anytime somebody goes for any type of, like, government corporate job, like, they're investigating your shit. And you just gotta think, like, how has that been going for the last fucking 4 years, man? Like, how's, the DCSC and the Office of the OPM handling all that shit, right? Like, how did all those DEI initiatives and shit really fuck up everything? I don't know. Sounds like it's pretty fucking bad, though. Yeah, Cicada is definitely DEI now. That's right, Cicada is. The Spear of Destiny is striking down its foes. The Spear of Destiny was fake, bro. That was not real. Well, if it was real, as soon as I held it, my wish was for it to just be a basic-ass spear with no power. Which is obviously the only wish that you do when you get some sort of object of mystical appearance. So, while it could have been some type of thing, now we know 100% that it is a valueless object that was utilized in a manipulation LARP. Right? And if you think about that thing keeps popping up in all kinds of different places. Those people keep coming up. But, as far as I see it now, is that there's really not much they're going to be able to do in the future. Everything that they've done up until now has basically been a big fucking goose egg for them. All of the sleepless nights and tweets and fucking blogs and all that other bullshit. It's done exactly zero for you. And it's only really helped me. It's actually helped me in a big ass way. Right? So I guess we just gotta have to see how this shit shakes out. Going to definitely have to be wearing a lot of hats here in the near future and playing the game in a different kind of way. But I really think that's gonna be interesting. Just sitting here and researching what's going on here, there obviously seems to be a little weight to some of these conspiracy theories. There's still unanswered questions, right? Like, if that's going to be real, we need to define down if it's actually the same locations that they were doing the testing, number one. Number two, we need to understand the type of devices that need to be outfitted on the helicopter in order for it to be remotely controlled or whatever. What's the defining process behind that? And obviously what I said, like, who was supposed to be the VIP? How did it get taken down? Was somebody able to remotely, bypass whatever remote control system that they used? Did somebody take over a local computer that they used to do any of the remote controls, and they just sent some input command to just kind of fuck shit up? The helicopter pilots were trying to fix it, but it was already too late. I just don't see the guys, right? Like, I don't see the 160 Asura. I don't see the Night Stalkers. I don't see the best of the best helicopter pilots like that going down like that. Like, this is a pretty routine thing, right? And it just doesn't really make sense. It doesn't add up in any kind of way. I got too much respect for them flyboys and their skills to think that, they're going to get taken out like that when they're literally flying out of motherfucking places, getting shot at by, like, all ungodly amounts of small arms fire and other types of fire. They still make it out of that shit after they got tore up. So, you're telling me that, they can fly around at night in, like, fucking different cities and they practice that shit all the time, but they missed the plane even though they had their systems on? None of it makes sense, dude. None of it makes sense. Right? None of it makes sense. Honestly, I get more questions, but, like, where I'm stuck here right now, like, these are going to be unanswered questions. How are you supposed to get that military data, right? How are you supposed to get, or, how are you supposed to go about getting the data and all the flight logs and stuff like that from the military? You ain't getting that shit, right? So it's just going to say, I think this one's going to stew a bit, too. Honestly, I think this one's going to stew a whole lot of it. It's not going to be something small for sure. Because there was a couple of, like, disinformation vectors that came out right away. The CNN article thing, and then we had people talk about, the Black Hawk thing. I don't think I really saw anything else on that. I don't really think I've seen the arrow of conspiracy, as it were, going that way. And even then, like, we got Sketchball 9000 over in the chat dropping out some interesting information. Yep. Interesting information indeed. Oh, wow. One of the soldiers who lost his life in the helicopter crash was identified as Ryan O'Hara, and he was a Black Hawk crew chief, and he leaves behind a 1-year-old son. Damn. I didn't even see that one. That's really sad, bro. Left behind a 1-year-old son. Honestly, though, that guy looks really familiar. Fuck, dude. Honestly, I think somebody... My brain is racing right now, but Occam's razor is telling me that somebody manipulated that fucking flight, bro. Wait, what's this? Meet Jo Ellis. She's an IT professional, former digital manager of this, serves in the Virginia Army National Guard as a UH-60 helicopter pilot. No longer able to serve the military because she's transgender. Huh. Jo Ellis shares her journey of balancing 15 years of military service with the courage to live authentically as a transgender woman. She discusses Trump's military trans ban with her former employer, Michael Marconish. Huh. Was Jo Ellis a transgender pilot? So another pilot was named Jo Ellis. But then they're saying that it's not cooperating information. Okay. Do I have the old cicada stuff? Nah, man. I mean, I probably actually do have most of it, but I'm never going to go back over all that shit. That's just going to invite the worst types of human beings into my midst, right? I don't want that. I don't need that shit right now. I got bigger shit to fucking worry about, bro. I got bigger shit to worry about.
But under no circumstance is a military helicopter, especially a fucking Black Hawk, gonna accidentally...
You don't want to mess around? Yeah, I don't want to mess around. I don't need those cicada retards trying to muck shit up and pretend like they fucking had anything to do with shit. Nah, we don't need any of that shit, dude. We found those people to be what? Wow, the Democrats at Media's Touch say there must be immediate hearings on federal government Department of Defense allowed this to happen, and the removal of safety problems and a recent personnel changes led to the incident. Wow. 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 Well, I guess I think I'm done today, at least investigating from where we're at in the standpoint. I'd say use what we've learned cautiously. It definitely seems like I know what angle people are going to be taking on that one. But be clear, we ain't got all the information. We just got speculation and some connections. But as we've learned over the years, just because somebody talked to somebody one time or met somebody one time, that's not actually evidence of anything. We need to get a little bit more information. That's the difference between being a dipshit on 8chan and actually having a badge and a clearance. I don't know though, dude. I feel like we're really into some sick waters here. And I'm pretty sure that people are going to be utilizing whatever people are saying online in this particular avenue for some real fucking weirdness. Yeah. Real fucking weirdness. So that's pretty much it for today. Thanks for coming in here and helping us out, adding your information into the live stream investigation we did into this. I feel like we've answered some questions and covered at least everything that was involved on both sides of this, whether you're looking for the true narrative or trying to dive into the conspiratorial sense. And I mean, to be perfectly honest, with where we're at right now, we're definitely over the edge in the conspiracy land, so that shit's probably going to take off like wildfire. There's just way too many fucking connections there's too many easy connections to be made by the drug-addled brain or the retard brain for this not to go somewhere. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like, holy shit, that's too close, man. Too close. Way too close. So thanks again to Spaldo for sending us $5 and monetizing the stream. We appreciate it, and I guess we'll just see you on the next one. Bye. Have a good one. Don't do anything I want to do. I know I'm being incredibly vague and shit, but you know what? That's what happens. Fucking deal with it. Deal with it, sucker! You gotta deal with it! You gotta deal with it. What are you calling me? I think you have relevant information for me.